Why is Mario Kart 8 $80? I'll wait. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to another video. It's your girl Pink, and we're back to talk about something I've been wanting to talk about for like 3 weeks now, and I just never got around to it. So the Nintendo Switch 2 has finally been announced. We know the specs, we know the release date, we know the catalog of games that will be releasing with the Nintendo Switch 2. However, with that information came a lot of backlash, controversy, and just a lot of debacle in the community, honestly. So I'm here to talk about what I feel is the Nintendo Switch's two biggest issue and what it means for the console. If you guys do enjoy, leave a like and be sure to comment down below if you guys are gonna be getting the Switch 2 on launch, or you're gonna wait a few months to get it. Are you not getting it at all? You guys let me know in the comments below. And yeah, let me start off by saying that I personally did go ahead and pre-order the Nintendo Switch 2. I went in store to GameStop, and I was able to on the day the pre-orders launched, which was last Thursday that just passed, I was able to go in and pre-order the Switch 2 with no problems. It was about 8 minutes in the GameStop store, went in, went out. So with that being said, I know the Switch 2 has had a lot of media time recently. It was like CBS News, you know, all the gaming channels have just been talking about Switch 2, Switch 2, Nintendo Switch 2, Nintendo Switch 2, Nintendo Switch 2. I've been keeping up with a lot, from the price hikes, from tariff scares, from pre-order, not having enough to meet demand. All of this stuff has been, you know, spoken about, and like till the end, like ever since like the beginning of April, we're literally at the end of April. The biggest topic is Nintendo Switch 2. It's absolutely crazy. But I want to say the one thing that's been bothering me personally about the Nintendo Switch 2 is the prices of the game, not the console, not the console price. I know a lot of people have been complaining about the console price, saying, why is why am I paying $450 for this? No, first of all, the regular Switch is $300. Some can even argue that, you know, given the outdated hardware of the Switch 1, $300 is too much. Who knows? You could even argue that. But the thing that gamers have been asking for, I say gamers as in the general consensus, is Nintendo customers, we just like our games to try to look good and just have fun. We're not asking for realistic, I can see the character's breath on my screen, I can see the sweat, I can see their pores. I don't think anybody cares about that except for like PC and you know, Xbox and Sony people, right? I just want my games to look good and to be fun and can work properly. That's all I ask for. That's all I really ask for, bro. Being a Pokemon fan and all, you guys know that that's never been a thing that they did. You know, I just play Pokemon for the passion, and I like the games and content, you know. But that's one thing I wish they would fix for the Switch 2. Hopefully ZA fixes that issue of frame rates and stuff. But back to what I'm saying. The price of the console has had a lot of people, I won't say a lot, but a decent amount of people complaining. And I'm not too sure why. This is a portable console that has a performance mode, and it is going to be doing 60 frames portable, damn near guaranteed at this point, with 4K docked that you can just take with you and go very easily, you know. And I'm trying to figure out, why are we complaining? This is what we've been wanting. And when you want things that to be stronger, better hardware, it comes with a steeper price. And the price ain't even that steep. Let's talk about PlayStation 5 Pro. Granted, you could say, oh, the PlayStation 5 Pro can power a plane. Okay, cool. But I ain't paying $700 for something I barely see a difference in. At least I can see a big difference with the Switch, from Switch 1 to Switch 2. I'm sold. You know what I'm saying? I'm not like super big in, like, I feel like the PS5 regular is good enough. Like, the Pro is not gonna do anything spectacular. That's just my personal opinion. But anyway, what I'm saying is, people are really complaining about the price, and I think the price isn't anything to complain about. It's really not. I think the price we should complain about is the game prices. I'm not gonna hold you. I'm not gonna hold you. Why is Mario Kart 8 $80? I'll wait, because I think that's really sick, because Mario Kart is not even a graphically intensive game. Now, if you want to sit here and talk about what Doug Bowser said in his CBS interview.
But if you buy the game itself, this got a lot of attention. I don't know if you've seen. $80, that's a lot for a game. I know it's typically not what Nintendo charges. And then we look at the Donkey Kong game that's coming out about a month later, it's $70. Can you talk a little bit about how the gaming pricing strategy is $80 kind of the benchmark for a AAA game from Nintendo? What should we be expecting in the Switch 2 generation as far as how much we're going to be spending on these games?
Yeah, I would say that we're not really looking to establish a benchmark for pricing. We look at every game and every experience and determine what we believe is the right price point based on that experience.
About, you know, the game being replayable and stuff like that, then I wouldn't even give a game's replayability the reason to put an $80 price tag. I am sorry. I understand the idea of, oh, the team put in X amount of work into the game. I understand that. And I feel at that point, sure, Mario Kart 8 being $70 is what I expected, not 80. Not $80. That's why I refused to buy that game like separate. That's why I got the bundle, because if I could get Mario Kart, not 8, sorry, Mario Kart World. I've been Mario Kart 9, Mario Kart World, we'll say Mario Kart 9 for now. Mario Kart 9 being $80 is just terrible. I just don't think that game is worth being $80 at all. I'm sorry. I just think that's too steep. Given that this is supposed to be a family-friendly company and, you know, stuff like that, etc., etc., paying $80 for a game is kind of wild, especially if it's Mario Kart. No, this is my hot take. I'm gonna make a separate video about this. If you said Metroid Prime 4 was going to be $80, I think I'd be okay with it. I have my multiple reasons why, and I'll explain in that video when you see it. But I'm more likely to buy a $80 Metroid Prime than an $80 Mario Kart. I am sorry. I just can't see myself doing that. I can't see myself doing that at all. I just feel like Mario Kart, it's a household game. It's one of those go-to games. You hear Mario Kart, like literally in a room of 10 people, 8 of them plays Mario Kart, like, and they love it. You see what I'm saying? So I understand kind of the business aspect of why they did it that way, why they said like, oh yeah, this is worth $80 because it's like a household Nintendo game. That's pretty much, it's a staple Nintendo game and they can definitely make money off of it, so I completely understand. But at the same time, I just don't think it's consumer friendly. The second thing that I don't think is consumer friendly, and I think it's even a worse offender, and this is crazy, I think it's a worse offender than $80 Mario Kart, is game key cards. Because this is where it gets kind of stupid to me, personally. Why are we paying $70 to not have the full game on the cartridge? Why? At that point, just start giving out digital codes. If that's what we're doing, like, you telling me I have to buy a cartridge to still have online, to still have to download either the rest of the game or the game entirely, that is absolutely lunacy. I'm sorry. I just can't see myself, you know, sitting down, putting in 60, 70, maybe even $80 damn to not have my game on my cartridge. Because when the servers go down in 10-15 years, when you can't access the Nintendo Switch eShop, look, I can't even go back and buy games on the Wii U eShop because they just shut that down last year in preparation for the Switch 2. What happens in those type of situations? Genuinely, because these games are getting more and more expensive. The least they could do is just put the whole game on the cartridge. If you're going to put a cartridge out, that doesn't make sense. Personally, that doesn't make sense at all. The one game I got physical that the game is actually on there is Rune Factory Guardians of Azuma. I never played Rune Factory before. I've been interested in playing Rune Factory for a while, and I saw that game during the Nintendo Direct and I was interested. So I said, you know what, let me go get that for Switch 2. At this point, if I'm getting the Switch 2, just get Switch 2 games. That's just the way I feel, personally. So that's the one game I got, and that game is on, you know, it's on the cartridge. Because, honey, if it wasn't on the cartridge, what's the point of buying it, you know? And this is more towards the third-party developers opposed to Nintendo themselves, because the option was made for game developers, and the game developers that's taken advantage of it. I'm looking at you guys. I'm looking at you, Capcom, because hello, because Street Fighter 6 Definitive Street Fighter Passes 1 and 2 is a game keycard game, and I'm like, so what's the point? What's the point? Just make it digital. What? We didn't need, like, huh? Like, you don't gotta do that. And I feel because a lot of the games on the Nintendo Switch 2 are doing the game keycard route, that it's just not looking optimal. It's not looking like an optimal system for a lot of people to get those games on the third party games. I feel like the Nintendo Switch 2 is going to be a first party system. Like, I don't think anyone is really going to buy or support third party, because a lot of third party is going game keycard route, which majority of the people that buy physical games to avoid that problem, and they're like, it just doesn't make sense. It contradicts itself. So I don't see anyone buying physical games for the Nintendo Switch 2 unless they're Nintendo first party games. Is that bad? Probably. Depends how you look at it, because if you still buy your third party, you buy it digitally, okay, cool. Or if you buy it on a different system, cool, you're still supporting that company, but it just won't be the third party support on Switch 2. While they will make games, except, like, for example, Cyberpunk is full on the game cartridge. The full game's on there. Kudos to them. Definitive, I think the DLC 2 is on there, I believe. So kudos to CD Projekt Red for real. That was great, and that's a large game, and they fit all of it on the cartridge. So it's not impossible. It's just, I don't know if it's lazy game development or they're cutting back on costs, but it's just disappointing to see. But that's my video in a nutshell. Do you guys agree with me? Let me know in the comments below. And once again, let me know if you guys are getting the Switch 2. How do you feel about the situation with pre-orders? How do you feel about the situation with physical games, game key cards, and $80 Mario Kart, or potentially $80 games? Because Mario Kart is 80, Donkey Kong Bonanza is 70. I'm quite sure. Look. I know Legend Z is about to be a $70 game, and I swear, bro, if that game does not, all right, if it doesn't do what it needs to do, I'm gonna flip. I'm going to HQ. I'm gonna write a strongly worded letter to HQ, because it's just no way. But with that, thank you guys for watching. Have a good one. Peace out.